I think you look fantastic.
Well, day made. Mark Donica here at RTX 2016 with the wonderful Samantha Ireland, voice of Nora in RWBY, and a lot of the live action stuff. What initially brought you to Rooster Teeth? Like, what was the did you see something and want to be a part of it, or is it like, oh, that's a job?
Yeah, kind of the second one.
Okay.
Yeah, they had an open casting call in 2011, I think in like May, and I went in, and Jen was in front of me too. Yeah, they had so it was for anything. It was for Red vs. Blue, for the Project Freelancer, those seasons, and for live action. So we kind of had a lot of scripts prepared to go in for the audition, and I got lucky, and yeah, Bernie picked me out for CT that year, and Jen, Carolina, obviously. And a few months later, you just make friends with people that you see all the time, and it was a lot smaller then. You knew everybody in the office, and it was just like I think it was 2 stories, and that was it, and 10 people in the office, and not the case now, in the least bit.
Like 15, 20 people?
Oh, yeah.
That's good. I mean, that's big growth. That's big growth for a 10-person company.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know. A quarter of the people I go in, and it's always new people, so that's fun now. But back then, yeah, I became friends with Brandon Fermahini and Marshall Rimmer, who was around more at that time, and I got into the live action, and I got to be, I think, in like 2 shorts during then, and then I moved away for a couple of years, and now that I'm back in Austin, I've been doing a lot more live action.
I must say, the Orcs Must Die one, Orcs Must Live, just go to the website, was a lot of fun. How was it like to really just break loose and wreak havoc on a supermarket?
That was really fun, and that was our call was like 1 a.m. too.
Oh, wow.
Because you have to go when it's closed.
When it's closed, yeah.
Yeah. So, and it was a really old supermarket too, and it was in a really cool part of town, and so we all show up. Everyone's like red-eyed, but ready to go, and it's just like we did the normal part. Obviously, we shot that first, and then when we got geared up, and you see all of the scenery pieces that the art department made, and all the things that we're wearing. Oh, it was so much fun.
Like, ridiculously oversized armor and shields and stuff. Yeah, that
like Game of Thrones, straight up. So
that's like what the Warcraft costumes should have looked like in the movie, because they're just so huge and bulky in the game. So as you can see, my favorite character from RWBY is Pyrrha. So talk to me a little bit about. One of our fans wanted to know how close to Nora you are, or what things of Nora you want to bring into your personal life.
Her determination, more of that for sure. Her peppiness, I do have that. I think half the time. I don't know.
Peppy-ish-ness?
But her positivity, and she's ruthless. And I think that's just badass. And I wish I had a little bit more. I do have those qualities, but they come out only, I think, at times that I don't need them.
I mean, I was going to say her semblance, the ability to absorb lightning and electricity, very helpful.
I feel like that. I haven't known what her semblance was this entire time until they wrote about it, and I was just blown away.
What was your initial guess?
I don't know, something with power, obviously, but I didn't know where it was going to come from. Was it going to come from the ground, or was it going to come from the sky? I wasn't really sure. So, but the fact that it's electricity and that can come from kind of anywhere, it's just so powerful.
She can just, if she doesn't need coffee, she can just pull power from her scroll. It's essentially like a reverse. She just needs, I don't know where, but she just needs to find a way to use like one of like the portable batteries, and just cool. I'm a little bit more energized. Just a quick. It's like a electricity patch instead of a nicotine patch.
Oh, exactly.
Pure madness. Most of Nora in Volume 3, it was seems like the most fun. How much are you allowed to improvise, though, and how much are you allowed to really stick to the script?
Sometimes we'll play around, because sometimes they'll be like, oh, we kind of like this line, but give us what you think, and we'll try a few things, and I'll go back to other seasons and try those, but in a different way for that particular instance, like Nora Smash. I say that a lot, and
one of these days it'll get in there. Maybe Chibi. Maybe.
Yeah, and so we try to do things like that all the time, and I get to improvise a lot when it comes to like efforts too. Like they'll tell me, okay, this is how it feels. You know, we need to make it sound like you got punched in the stomach, or you know. But then at times they're like, all right, just go crazy with it. So,
I'm sure the effort for, all right, you're getting punched in the gut with a cattle prod, but you like it and you're getting energy from it. Go.
Yes. Yeah, you just gotta
have a minute,
and you're like, and we're gonna go. And sometimes it works, and sometimes it's terrible. But most of for her efforts have been the most fun because of her personality and because of her childlikeness at times too. Like for CT, it was harder. It needed to be realistic. It was dramatic, and for this, it can be comedic at the same time. With
the resurgence of, or with RWB, since we're talking about RWB season 14 being sort of an anthology, an update on different stories. I'm not going to ask if CT is going to make an appearance, but what would your dream story? What story from CT's life would you want to be told?
I think I'd like to know more about the relationship that she had with that insurgent.
Yeah,
I want to know more about that. How did that start? You know, I want to know more information about that, because when I was signed on for CT, I think Bernie told me, okay, we're going to go one of two ways, and then they chose the one that was the most dramatic, that was going to give the most effect for sure. But in knowing that, I was like, I want to know more about this like relationship. How much in love are they, and how are they, or is he just using her? And you know, I wanted to know more. So that's my dream scenario for CT, but I don't know if that's like far back enough for for like an anthology.
Really, the Red versus Blue community, and even the Rooster Teeth community as a whole, looks for anything. Really, like, I mean, I kind of fear saying these words. Go to Tumblr and see what they write, but at the same time, with reticence, safe search on, especially for you kids out there. Horrifying. But there is some good stuff like packed within there, especially story-wise. So we saw a very small glimpse of Nora in Volume 4. She's part of, not officially named, but fans have dubbed them Team Ranger, which is pretty cute.
That is really cute.
It's pretty cute. But in the time that dealing with the loss of Pyrrha, which we're all still doing, by the way.
Yes.
I'm sorry for anybody in the room who's not caught up. But
that's your fault.
That's your fault. They're just going off of they just watch RWBY Chibi, and then they get to episode 5 or episode 6 and get to the end and just like, what happened? I just started watching RWBY. Okay, what? Then that's an entirely new way to watch the show that I just realized. Oh my God, that's gonna be sad when kids get to. Oh my God, sorry, just realization there.
Because some people are younger now and they're watching Chibi, and then they'll watch RWBY when they're a little bit older, and they're like,
death, misery, and death. RWBY. Can you tell us how Nora has grown in the time between the end of season 3 and the beginning of season 4? Like kind
of like what everyone's been saying. You know, time has passed a little bit, and I haven't even gone in to record her except for trailer.
Okay.
I was supposed to a couple weeks ago, but I had like Camp and RWBY Chibi, and I had a lot of stuff for RWBY Chibi too. And Camp was a long session too, so I didn't even get to Nora for season 4.
Okay.
So I don't even really know. I just know, like, I saw some of the concept artists last night, and they told me that Nora does. I mean, everyone looks a little different,
sure,
because time has passed. So I'm really interested to see that. I should be going in to record soon, but I think if anything, I'm sure Miles and Carrie have written like all of us to mature a little bit, especially with dealing with the death of Pyrrha, and then dealing with something so tragic like Yang losing her arm, and the fact that we're on this mission not with the school, you know, we're by ourselves. At least what we saw in the last part of season 3, we're like on the road together, just the 4 of us. And
it's interesting how the dynamic has totally changed, where they slowly introduced the idea of Team Stark, where it's like, no, that's the team that Crow and everybody did most of their work with, and we're like, oh cool, so we're going to see Team RWBY do that and Team Juniper do that. But now it's evolving into this group that really needs each other, and the Ranger, again not named, but still very cool.
I do like it.
It's pretty cool. It seems like this will be this will be the group we've waited for to sort of take from the song. But I'm beyond excited to see what Nora has to offer. You brought
Me too.
and also, I mean, RWBY Chibi. Patrick D said it in our panel, which again, thank you for coming to our panel.
Of course, I'm so glad I got to go.
RWBY Chibi is made for Nora, like 100%. Like as the comic relief, that's the type of thing that we've been wanting Nora to be, and more of the Nora and Ren interaction. And we're going to be getting 2 amazing bits coming up. Just amazing.
I didn't know that was going to be the one that was shown. So I was like, once it started, I was like, yes, everyone's going to be so happy.
And they were. That was probably one of the biggest pops of energy in the room.
I think so too.
It was also right before all of the sadness started. But beyond excited that Juniper and Nora are especially are in Chibi, because it's hilarity will ensue.
I think you're going to be surprised who shows up.
Yeah,
for sure.
That's pretty good to hear.
Yeah.
A lot of punching. We want to see a lot of punching. Hope Nora's hammer makes an appearance.
Me too.
Yeah. Well, stay tuned for that. You mentioned Camp, and that's become one of my new favorites. I'm a big comedy fan at heart, and as funny as RWBY can be because of real life situations, Camp's just nuts, just absolute insanity.
Yes, and I desperately wanted that too. I wanted something that was really adult too. I love that kind of humor that just like, and they're all children.
I mean, it's the things that you never think children would say, but they totally do. Like,
they do.
Just away from their parents. This is something that kids are trying to keep away from you, but they're talking about political buzzwords and cursing and peeing in you to get pregnant, which I still need to Google if that's the real thing. I'm pretty sure. But so you played all 3 Flower Scouts.
Yes.
And I rewatched the episode. Impeccable. And you mentioned on the panel, that you listen to it again. It's like they all sound the same. They all have different idiosyncrasies that makes them different, so it's not entirely the same. How did you come to find what the Flower Scouts were going to sound like? And also, were you in to voice all 3? Did they tell you these 3 are supposed to be entirely the same?
Yeah. Jordan reached out to me and he said, we want you to play the Flower Scouts. I was like, so all of them? Like, there's more than one? And he says, yes, there's 3 of them, and they're the mean girls. I was like, oh, okay, I'm done. I'm like, I'm still going to do this. I didn't even see what they were going to look like or anything, but when I read the script, I was like, okay, so there's one that has like, I think she's smaller. The other one, she's like way too cool. And then there's the one who's the leader.
Yeah.
And so I kind of just based it off of that. I really just changed my tonal pitch, and either I would lengthen their syllables or I would shorten a little bit, but a lot of them are more like, longer. So
France.
Yeah, and they're so close and they just love everybody, but they don't.
Not whatsoever.
They're cruel, but they're nice cruel. They're the worst kind of cruel.
Yeah, they're the worst kind of cruel. They'll bring you in just to bite your head off.
Yeah, I mean, they're the mean girls from high school. And when I was in the recording, Jordan, sometimes he like shivers and he's like, oh, high school.
So it's hard. Well, who out of the 3 is your favorite?
I don't know. I'm going back and forth. I think Aaron, and then I think Tabby, but then I think, oh my God, but Sasha at the same time.
But Tabby's got the great line at the end that just. But also to hear you, the snap at the end, like, seriously, Tabby, what the fuck? Like,
exactly. And we did different versions of that too, of that line, and I'm just. Yeah, I'm absolutely thrilled that I get to play them. I've always wanted to play a Valley Girl, which is weird, but I do, because there's a part of me that maybe is a Valley Girl on the inside.
Should we dive deeper into that? I don't know. Do we have? I don't think we have to. Do we have time? We don't. Okay, sorry. Continue.
But no, I just the fact that I get to play 3.
Yeah.
And they all play off of each other. Oh, and it's I get to be working with Yuri Lowenthal, like that's pretty incredible. I never got to share a screen with him before, so I'm really, really happy. And of course, Elizabeth is amazing as Nikki.
Yeah.
So I'm episode 3, amazing. I'm so happy I'm a part of it.
And the fans, I think a lot of people saw the credits and went, "That's Sam Ireland? That's crazy! Wow, that's great."
I didn't really tell a whole lot of people I was doing it. I wasn't really sure how much I could say anyway, so I didn't really tell anybody. And even Jen and Shannon were like, "Is that Sam?" as they were watching it. And I just saw Blaine last night, and he said, "You played all three." Oh, I thought they got like actresses that sounded alike. He said, that was you. Oh man, I was,
That's gonna be pretty great though.
That felt really nice considering, what I said on the panel. I just feel like it's the same voice, but as long as I'm getting that from people, that there is a distinction, but they're supposed to sound the same but different. That's what Jordan wanted, the same but different. And hopefully I'm doing what
it came across, and you're also, everybody's their harshest critic. They're their own harshest critic.
Yeah.
So don't worry about it. Do you have any other non-Rooster Teeth projects coming up that you want to talk about?
I'm going to be in a short film in August, and it's dealing with clinical depression and one-night stands. Okay. But it's in the 1960s. We have a Kickstarter for it right now. We have I think like a week and a half left, or maybe.
What's it called? So we can find it and promote it.
It's called A Stagnant Fever. We're not asking for much. It's just for a lot for production design and film festivals, all that jazz. And then I wrote a short comedy that I'm writing and directing and producing, and I'm in as well. I'm doing that in August with a couple of people here, and I got a really great crew, and it deals with anger management and superheroes. So I'm really excited.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
I'm excited about that one, and I think I'm going to start writing a little bit more. And start my production company, and we're talking about doing a feature film based here in Austin sometime next year. So
that's hard work.
But it's all very local. It's all very indie, but it's stuff that I really enjoy. And when you have talented friends and you have talented people that you work with, take your resources and do it. So
you actors get antsy for so long, and they just like, I need to do something. I need to do something. I need to do something. Like my fiance and I were planning our wedding, and she's a theater director, and she hasn't done anything in a really long time, and she's really starting to just like. She's starting to treat like we were going to have a stage manager for the wedding, and we have a lighting designer and this and that, just so that she can feel similar. So I totally in the same world, 100%.
Oh my God! And I just heard that there's like a audition for an improv troupe for like August. And I'm like, I could do that too. I can do it all. I'm like, oh my God, I should do it.
I'm telling you, this is your friend.
No.
Don't do that.
I know.
Especially if you're writing, producing, acting, directing.
I know. It's just a short film, but I'm like, it's just a short film, but I also want to do this. I want to do that. So yeah, you get antsy, especially like the summertime is a slow time for actors, and so I'm ready to kind of just.
There can only be so many summer stocks.
I know.
Yeah, like I've done Romeo and Juliet. I've done Othello. Whatever. I can't do Shakespeare anymore.
I'm so weird when it comes to stage too now. Yeah. Like I think I really just want to focus on comedy more than I did a play last year, and it went fine, but it was a drama, and I don't know. It was just. I hadn't done stage in a long time either, but that's where I started, and that's where I feel like my heart is always. But I think, in all honesty, I'm leaning towards film more and series and shorts, just anything on like the digital side. It's also quicker, with stage. You have months that you have to work on something. But yeah, I was the same way. I did the Crucible a little while back. Oh, yeah. I was John Proctor, but the entire time I had my brow furrowed. Yeah. And the first dress, got off stage, passed out, woke up the next morning with strep throat because I had stressed myself into that. Yeah. And we had to put off the production for another week. No, we did. But I got penicillin that morning, passed out, woke up, got a message saying, "We're sorry that we had to push the show back." And I went, "I would have done it. I would have done it." Super excited that you're a part of this community. Super. I'm really happy to be a part of it too. Yeah, it's beyond fun getting a chance to talk to you face to face instead of just over Skype where there's that little bit of delay. Which and I don't get to see you guys. No. Yeah. I don't see your faces. That's the weird thing. I had to just look at a camera and pretend that I see you guys. They're right there. Weird face to face. It's weird Space Odyssey type stuff where you're looking into a lens. Yeah.
But yes, absolutely amazing to see you, talk to you. Thank you for being on our panel.
Thank you so much for letting me come.
Excuse me, letting you come, please.
I was nervous. I wasn't sure if I could be there. So yeah, thank you.
It was a lot of fun. Last question though, where do you see yourself, either with Rooster Teeth or not, by the time we get to RTX 2017?
I thought I thought I'd be doing a lot more for this one, in all honesty, but not even particular with them, just in general. And I think I want to just keep that goal going. In all honesty, I hope I'm going to be writing more and producing more, and getting my own content out there instead of kind of waiting for it to come to me.
That's the best way. It's the Felicia Day approach.
Yes.
Just do it. Find your friends and do it.
She definitely is someone that I admire on that aspect, because if it's not coming to you, you got to make it happen. Exactly. And after that, people will come because other people were too scared to do it themselves, or they felt like they weren't good enough, and then they can have the courage to come and join an army, basically, is what she has.
Like she led the YouTube revolution, really.
Yes, exactly. And look how far that's come in such a short amount of time. And so who knows what's going to happen, I guess, in a year from now. But I'm hoping, if anything, I hope we get to know Nora more, too.
Sure.
I really want the fans to know her more. I want to know her more, too. So,
like, one of the things that we learned from, I always go back to Avatar: The Last Airbender, which is just one of the greatest animated series in general. It's action-packed, it's full of drama, but it has the moments of comedy, and it's those moments of comedy that bring you closer to those characters. And with Nora, we've gotten close to her because of the comedy. She is that levity in that world, but I think everybody wants to know a little bit more about her too.
And she's smart, you know? She knows where everyone is emotionally, and she knows when to stop and when to say something at the same time. So I think there's so much we need to learn about her and Ren's relationship, and I'm really eager to know myself.
I mean, if you want to know more about her and Ren's relationship, just stay tuned to RWBY Chibi. You will know everything you need to know, or will have wanted to know for these past couple of volumes. Thank you so much for sitting down with me, Samantha. This is absolutely fun. This is a riot. So this is Nora and Nora from RTX 2016. We will see you back in LA.